All right, welcome back to the Planet Paintball Podcast, brought to you by 1023 Sportswear and Southwest Paintball in Bayfield, Colorado. Jesus, that is bright. Just like my buddy I got with me today, Corie, AC Greenville and Legendary Weapons, or AC Greenville these days.
Just AC Greenville.
Okay, I didn't know. There's a lot of you
Just
that are
AC
doing like
Greenville.
both.
No, I think that was Eric, Nate, and Andrew.
Okay,
Those three did Legendary.
all right, nice. Well, I mean, I'm super excited about having you on, finally.
Finally.
Finally, look, you had to get a season under your belt, right? Earn some stripes to get on this thing. You
Fair
went
enough.
through, played D6,
I had to
played
get on the
D5.
podium.
Yeah, you played D4 at the AXL this past weekend or 2 weekends ago when this comes out. But you are one of, I think there's few people in this sport that are facilitators, right? And you're one of those people, man. Like, you're always in my ear and everyone else's ear. You coming out, you coming out, you coming out. Like, I know if Corey's going out to the field, there's going to be a good showing because he's asked 20 people.
I've already hit up the tribe, yeah.
So, which I appreciate, man. Like, this is what I do now. I don't got the energy in me to herd cats anymore. So I'm glad there's someone like you out there doing it.
Well, yeah. The Paintball Central in Greenville's come a long way in the last 2 years, I think, as far as crowds going and people meeting up on Sundays.
Yeah.
And you get people consistently running drills on Saturdays and then running points on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah, if we could just start a little earlier, I'd be happy. But, here or there, right?
You were late today.
Yeah, but that's because I know you guys aren't going to be ready until then.
Fair enough.
If I knew you guys were playing points at 9 o'clock, my ass would be out there at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. It's a slow start, definitely on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, well, and coming out of the winter finally, like, I think it'll start picking up, so it'll be fine.
Yep, and we just lost an hour today.
Yeah, lost an hour, so hopefully we'll have Friday night lights coming up for sure. Well, not lights, but Friday nights at least.
Yeah. Friday night hopes.
Yeah. Even if it's like just an hour of drill or something, that's always kind of nice to knock the rust off before the weekend starts, right?
Absolutely.
Well, man, let's get into it. How did we find this crazy sport?
Paintball. Well, I believe I was 12 or 13 years old. It was like 97 or 98. Chris Vanderberg, he runs Nova Paintball.
In VHA, or former owner of VHA, now defunct field.
Yeah, yep, Badlands. He used to own a little guitar / paint. He had a little paintball area in his shop, and my brother played guitar, and I went with him one day to go get some stuff for his guitar, and I saw paintball guns on the wall, and I was, what's this? And I met Chris, and he told me about it, and he told me he had a bunch of property out near Blue Ridge, and he called it Badlands. And so I got my mom to start taking me every Sunday to where it was, and just got hooked onto it for at least a year, 12 or 13. Yeah, and then I became 13 and met a bunch of, friends and started liking girls. So
Yeah, those girls get in the way, don't they? They're nice, but they get in the way.
Yeah. So that was what I did. I think it was 6th grade. That's pretty much what I did every weekend. Every Sunday was go up there and play paintball. It was a rental. I didn't have any pod packs or anything like that. I just ran the hopper.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a very long hiatus after that.
Yeah. Yeah. So long ass hiatus. How did it come about?
Well, let's see. I had to go through divorce, and I needed something to fill the void.
Okay.
Just randomly one day I was out with a friend. We were having lunch, and I just kind of looked over at him, and I was like, "Hey, I think we're gonna go play paintball tomorrow." And he just kind of was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I remember I used to like it." And so I just, surfed the web and looked on, and I think the first place I went to was Red Fox and really enjoyed it. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm getting exercise. I'm outdoors, shooting things.
It's very
So,
therapeutic, right?
yeah, very therapeutic. Yeah. So I just started getting back in that routine again, going on. There, when I first got back into it, I was doing Saturday and Sunday going up to Red Fox.
That's a lot of
And
rec ball.
yeah, and then I decided to buy a gun finally. I was like, okay.
Oh, wait, so you were
And
running the whole time?
when I first started,
Okay.
actually, no, 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 no. I take that back. I wasn't renting when I first started at Red Fox. I went to like Walmart and there was like an HK Saber, HK
Okay.
Army Saber, aka the confetti shooter, is what I called it. Because I mean, it's just paint busted every time. Didn't have the best bolt.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I met somebody and they're like, dude, you should get like the Empire Axe 2.0. And so I ended up buying that. And that was the first time when I started going back to the field with that. When I got the Empire, like I actually felt like I had an advantage for the first time playing paintball. I was like,
Okay.
whoa. And I had the pod pack,
Hmm.
First thing I remember is just, dumping a lot of money into it when I really, really knew I was getting into it and knew I was wanting to stick with it as a hobby. So, and then one Sunday, I remember I got to Red Fox early that day and there wasn't a lot of people. And push come to shove, sitting next to me is Mike Morales. And that's not how you say his last name, but that's how I say it. And he saw me starting to pack up my stuff because there wasn't a lot of people there. And he was like, you should stay, man. He was like, we'll have some fun. And as soon as he said that, like 10 minutes later, 10, 15 more cars pull up and everybody got their own gun. So um, him and I ended up playing on the same team. And at the end of the day, we exchanged numbers. And he put me in, at the time, it was just the Greenville paintball community chat.
Hmm.
And he told me to come to Paintball Central to check out Speedball because I had never heard of it. And so I think a week or two later, Andy Vargas at the time, he had set up a big outing over there because there was a bunch of teams from up in Rock Hill that came down that first Sunday I ever tried it.
Hmm.
And that's when I met Kevin Gardner. I'm sure you were out there. I didn't meet you that day though, but I in the chat that the day before I ended up realizing I was going to be on the same box as like Josh Connolly and Mike, myself, and I ended up being Kevin Gardner as well. And then I can't remember the fifth, but that was the
Probably
first time
me.
I ever ran a point. You never know. Yeah, it might have been you, but that was the first point I ever ran. And funny, you could tell I was a green because I didn't even have it on ramp, had it on semi. And Roth Yap called me out because he
Okay.
was like, hey, he's not shooting 10.2, 10.5. And Josh Connolly was like, it's his first time. So, but I'll never forget that first day being out of Paintball Central playing speedball there. Like I was instantly hooked. And that's when I just started upgrading all my gear and really dumping money into it. It was definitely a couple grand that went down for having, quality stuff for paintball. So, and then what was it? Ended up meeting some guys that I got along with. And I remember I was just so hungry to be on a team because I was like, I just want to see what this is all about. I want to see what a tournament's about. And at the time, Toxic was the team.
Hmm.
And I met some of those guys and another guy named Zach, originally from Florida, played down in Tampa, D4 player. He ended up, we all ended up getting together and we started running, three man was our first one.
Okay.
We did the C3XL D6. I believe it was like, it wasn't like the first C3XL of the year. It was like the third one, I believe. It was in June.
Hmm.
And we ended up not going as Toxic that day. We ended up knowing we wanted to change the name to Carolina Wretched. And that was my first tournament. And I ended up doing fairly well. they thought they were very surprised on how well I did. They thought I was just going to get out there and just get murdered,
Hmm.
but I just like to roll that gun. So, and also roll that voice. So, but we ended up taking first place.
Not too shabby
So,
for the first one out the gate, huh?
yeah, not too shabby. But yeah, we ended up playing a second one and did not do well at all. Got last place.
Mm.
And also, yeah, hate saying this. But I was new to the
Just
game,
say it.
but you should never do it. Yeah, we ended up not even finishing prelims. Like, we didn't
Hmm.
even finish our fourth game.
Mm.
Boy, did I catch hell
Yeah, you did.
at Paintball Central for a while. And I should have. And, you know, to anybody that's listening out there, that's implement. Don't ever quit, take your lashings, even if you know you're not going to get out of prelims, just
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah. Something
That's
to
when you
learn
go
there.
kamikaze.
Yeah.
That's when you just, you try to run down the field as quick as you can and you try to get a point or it doesn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, look, you paid for it. You got to play it, right? It's a little disrespectful to other teams if you decide, like, I'm not having a good day. Screw this. Damn it, Andy.
Yes. But yeah. No, I know what you're saying though. It is disrespectful to other teams. It's just yeah,
But you're
make
also
sure not
leaving
to do that.
lessons on the table, right? Like, if you're, and I know it's hard to go from like first to getting your ass beat, right? But like, you're not taking advantage of the full lesson that you hopefully are learning that day, right? If you're losing, you better be learning.
I'll never forget that. I remember going to Paintball Central the next weekend. The first person that pulls up is Andy Vargas. And he rolls down his window and he just points at me. He goes, I need to talk to you. And I mean, he let me have it. He was like, you don't ever, I don't care. You finish prelims one way or another. Don't even get me started with Kevin Gardner.
Yeah.
That man didn't even want to look at me.
Well, so like, just to like, hey, there's a lot of hardcore dudes at Greenville, right?
Absolutely.
And during that time, there was a culture shift from like relapse to, rice and beans were coming up. The Wretched Camp was around. AC Greenville was kind of like, I guess, in its infancy type deal. And relapse just a bunch of hard motherfuckers. And we're
Yeah.
going to tell you how it is and what we feel about it.
Yeah. But I mean, I give a lot of, all you relapse guys thanks because you've made me a better player. And just because I've taken a beating for the last 2 years, and it's finally starting to feel like, it's balancing out,
Mm-hmm.
especially against the relapse guys. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah. The motto really should be the beatings will continue until morale improves with us.
Yeah.
Just kind of is what it is. Not for everyone, I get it, but
Nah, I appreciate it. You, Kevin, Andy, I mean, your brother, everybody, Eddie, everybody's, and, Mike, I mean, Eric and Nate and everybody. I mean, everybody, that's what I love about the community. Everybody helps each other.
Mm-hmm.
I love how when there's a tournament coming up, you know, especially the weekend before a tournament, it's going to be packed
Yeah.
on a Sunday. Everybody's going to be running points or running hard. Sometimes, people are up there just to, help have fun with and run the points, but also help other teams if they're not playing in that tournament,
Yeah.
just to get them prepared, get them spins, help them run the plans the plays that they want to run,
Mm-hmm.
see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Well, and that's, there's always been like a decent little practice squad in Greenville for sure, whether it be relapse guys or other guys, right? Some of the Dark Carnival guys call that place home. So it's always just been and then we got the filthy kids out there, the Robinsons, they'll come
Those
and
guys.
import their knowledge from jersey. So we got like a lot of different styles kind of floating in the mix, which I think's really good.
And we got a lot of competitors, you know. There's a lot of teams. You were there last year with us. The C3XL, I think it was the finale when three teams from Greenville got some hardware.
Yep. Yeah.
So
All three.
all three. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that just says something. That just shows that there's consistency in Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
There's hard work. Shout out to some of my AC brothers, you know, Eric and Nate. Those guys work hard, and Andrew. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, those guys work really hard. And
Yeah.
Eric just became a beast.
Well, he
I'll
put
never
in the
forget.
time, right? Like, I mean,
He's put in overtime,
yeah.
in my opinion. But I mean, that's what he wants, you know. He's hungry, and it's been a pleasure playing with him. It's been a pleasure to play with anybody on AC, honestly. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I'll never forget Eric's first tournament with me last year. You were our coach slash playing with
Coach.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not ready to put down the cleats. And I think that event showed it to me because I was like, yeah, I'll coach. And then I was like, I'm going to be up there. Might as well play. And probably didn't give you guys
Yeah.
the best coaching I could have because I was distracted myself.
Right. What was I gonna say? I'll never forget you looked over at me. You were like, I didn't realize that they were that green. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'll never forget Eric's first point. He came out and he was like, well, that was quick. I
There were a lot of quick points that day.
think my big toe was broken,
Yeah.
and I was playing on that. So that was fun. But I'll never forget after the tournament, Eric was there Saturday and Sunday.
Hey, something happened to the mic.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yep. Now I can hear you.
All right. No, I was gonna say after the tournament, Eric was there every Saturday and Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
like consistently after that, and he is still to this day,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
it shows.
that flipped a switch in him where he was like, I'm not going to suck at this and
Well,
start putting in the time.
yeah, I don't know if he told you, but at the tournament last weekend down in Conway at the AXL, we had this one point, and four of our guys went down. And it
Mhm.
was just Eric, and they still had four. And Eddie was like, started just like packing up, or like not packing up paint, but just getting paint ready and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But here comes Eric running down Dorito's side, escaping like it looked like slow-mo, but like nothing was hitting him.
Mhm.
And he ended up taking out all four of the guys, and we ended up winning that point. And sorry, with Eddie, I was like, we won that point. He was like, we won that point. So Eric gets in these crazy modes. So that was pretty cool. But yeah,
Well, take us through a synopsis of last year, I guess, because you played the C3 XL. You did two CFOA Blitz events.
one was with you.
Yep.
Or no,
We
both
got
were with
second.
you.
I'm just saying, every time we play, we get them, we place together. So we got third, then we got second. So next time we're due for a first.
I was going to say, charity events, we always do third.
Yeah. Well, you did that this year without me.
Yeah, I had to keep it going. So yeah, no, I mean, getting a whole season under your belt, especially the C3XL, was nice. I mean, it was nice to see at the beginning of this season, seeing that D4 and realizing, you know, we put in the work last season, got some good points. But just, I would say the best thing from last year is just watching the consistent progression from each tournament and just getting a better rank. And I think it was because we kind of, Eric and all of us kind of started out doing D6. I think we did the first two D6, and then we went D5 because we had too many people to rotate. So ended up being Nate, Eric, me, Andrew, and AJ on the D3 5-man.
D5,
We got
3-man.
We had D5.
You said D3. Whoa there, buddy.
No D.
We are recording this after a practice day, so we'll give you some
Yeah.
slack.
And losing an hour of sleep. But yeah, we got fourth out of 7 on the first one, and we realized that we really gelled well together. Especially Nate and Eric are so great as front runner, especially in the 5-man that we had. Having those guys up in the front and Buddy, shout out to Buddy too, because that was his first tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in a D4, like that was his first tournament ever. So
Yeah.
he held his own. I'll give him, I'll give him credit. He did a good job. But yeah, Nate and Eric are great going up on the sides. They're aggressive. They know when to strike. You can tell that they really pay attention. What was I saying? But yeah, so the next tournament was July, and that was the one that was extremely, extremely hot. But of course, it's July, and that one was back up in Rock Hill. That's actually the one where they actually had a couple people, I think,
Out.
fall out. Yeah, they had to get the IVs. I remember cramping so bad after that tournament. Um, but that was we ended up getting third, and I think at that tournament there was like 15 teams. So
Mm-hmm. And that's coming off of you guys screwing up, not realizing you made it on, right?
trying to get past that one.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let you off the
Yeah,
hook.
yeah, yeah. I knew you. I was like, come on, man, we're live. But yeah, we were wrong by what? 2.5 of a point.
Yeah.
Another lesson I have to throw out there now. You don't start unpicking up until you are 100% sure that you're not going on to the quarterfinals, semifinals, what have you, because that's also another painful, uh,
Lesson.
mistake, lesson, mistake, what have you. So, yeah. So who knows what we could have done at that first tournament as D5 or no, not D5. Yeah,
Yeah,
D5
that was your first
3-man.
Yeah.
We might have ponied that, but we don't know. Moving on because yeah, we screwed up. But yeah, the one in Rock Hill we ended up getting third place, and then we got third place again at command decisions when you guys got what'd you get? Second, Carnage?
Yeah, Carnage got second and then walked away with third for the season overall somehow.
Yeah, we ended up AC that year ended up fourth out of 25 in the D5 division. So once
Did you
again,
guys win
progression.
that
Just
one
seeing.
or huh?
No. Legendary.
Legendary won it. You guys got second?
Oh no, we got that tournament we got third
Yeah. Okay.
in the finale. But overall for the whole season we got fourth.
Gotcha. Just shy of the money, whatever. I don't know if they actually gave out money for
Shy
that.
of the good stuff. But that's what we aim towards this year is just constantly getting better,
Mm-hmm.
tightening up on mistakes. We plan on doing the AXL the whole season.
Okay.
So look forward to that. People are asking me today if we were going to do some of the C3XLs. And honestly, I think I even told you this today. It's going to be pretty much, we're going to main focus is AXL and anything that's around it that doesn't interfere with that.
Mm-hmm.
It could be up for, but we have 7 to 9 people on the roster. So
Yeah. Well, I think
people
it's
have options to play other tournaments.
yeah.
And we're not sure if everybody's always going to be available. You know how paintball is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
stuff happens, right? Like it just is what it is. But I do think it's smart as an organization to pick one series and that be the primary thing, right? If you don't, it can be a little I mean
It's a little tricky.
yeah, it can be fun to jump around, right? Like I mean that's what I do with the rice and beans guys, but different goals there, I guess. Like, I think there is something to be said to picking a series and sticking it out. Rice and beans like stuck out the 3-man, and that was the primary thing last year for them. And then we would go off and play, a 5-man here or there, or whatever.
Yeah. And that's part of Planet Paintball too, is the travel, going to
Yeah.
other places and just, and comparing it to your park,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were you saying though?
Just that I think it's a good thing that you guys have like picked a league and you're gonna ride it
Yeah,
out
and
all the
oh
way.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, is like, you can consider a tournament as almost practice for itself too, especially if you have all the same teams playing throughout
Mm-hmm.
the season, because you start learning, how teams play.
Yeah.
And it was nice to, that was AC Greenville's first 5-man tournament, and their new division too in D4.
Mm-hmm.
And the first match was a huge, like, just we got smacked 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, this is either a wake up call or we just gotta tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's nice about tournaments too, is like you got that time in between for your next match,
Yeah.
and you got a time to sit there and talk, relax, and just kind of really come up with a good solid game plan and talk about what went right and what went wrong and what you need to do to tighten that up,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then just, the teamwork in the pit, everybody helping each other out and just making sure that we're prepared, because 5-man too, you're using a lot more paint, because that's one thing I've noticed too, is I was out there on the field a lot longer than like a 3-man.
Mm-hmm.
You're not pushing the field just as quick.
Yeah. There's a little bit more of a dance to it, right? Like,
Right.
and three man, you get the advantage by shooting one body. And I would argue in 5-man, like, yes, there's an advantage, but it's definitely not as large.
No.
So,
But yeah, so we regrouped, and next team we ended up 4-0 and them.
mm-hmm.
So that kind of boosted morale and momentum, So we were hyped after that. And we're like, okay, we're here to play. And I think next match we ended up winning 3 or 4-1. And so the last game was against the Beach Bandits. Humidity. They've got 3 lines. That's their home field at
Mm-hmm.
Black Ops
Yeah.
in Conway. And Chad Boucher runs those lines, as we were talking today. So shout out to Chad Boucher and all of his Beach Bandits. But yeah, they came out and got a quick point on us, and we got a point on them. And then they came back and got another. They got a really quick point after that because they were not happy about that. So went up 2-1, and I think we had about a minute left. And that's I think they were running 12-minute matches.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was about a minute left, and we ended up almost tying the match, but did not end up tying the match.
That little controversy there at the end.
Not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna. But yeah, it was a painful something we all had to kind of take in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we ended up losing that 2-1. So we were just shy of getting out of the prelims for our first 5-man turn. So we ended up playing sitting on a 5th out
Mm-hmm.
of 10. So that's not where we want to be, obviously. We really wanted to come home with some hardware. The your initial tournament mindset should be, in my opinion, get out of prelims.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you just kind of start moving forward match by match after that.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
think
either you're
especially as a
playing
new
somebody,
team,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, as
you,
a new team, yes.
so I don't care like how good you are individually, like 3-man is less team ball in my opinion, not that, being a good team helps for sure, but like it's more dependent on individual skill sets where X ball, you have to have a good team, even if you're just a ton of stunners. The team that's like maybe below you in skill just a bit is going to win that, in my opinion, because they're communicating, they're talking, they're moving as a unit. So as a new team, I think it's really important. Like goal one, win a match, right? And then after that, make it out of prelims, and then just step by step, right?
And that's what's funny about tournaments too, is we got smacked that first match, but then we came back and won 2 in a row, um, with a statement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't quite. I mean, we came back, and it's great when you find that rhythm. You have to in the tournaments,
Yeah.
but just seeing it happen and just seeing you overcome your mistakes that you made from the previous match, and just always, keeping the other team guessing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's fun. I mean, it's a chess game.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm excited. I really think AC Greenville can do pretty well this year in the AXL. That's obviously the goal, but for the first, like I said, the first 5 man in D4 getting fifth place and 10th, I'll take it. But it's definitely not where we want to be.
Yeah.
We want to be in the top three every, you know, we want hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Nice.
we spend enough money on the sport that we love.
Well, and the majority of the squad is out there 2 days a week. They're out there
Yes,
Saturday and Sunday. So,
not like us older men. I'm now that it's back in the season, I'm definitely there every Sunday,
mm-hmm.
with or without, my son Milo. Um, but you have to be, especially if you want to compete in tournaments. I mean, you got to be. It's consistency, and
Yeah.
it's just you want to build that muscle memory. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's important too. You don't want your other guys, busting their butt, and you showing up when you can't.
Mm-hmm.
One or two. You got to put in the work.
Yeah, I mean, off season's a little different, right? But like once you're in season, if half the team's doing one thing and the other half of the team's doing another thing, like there's probably going to be some resentment built up at some point by someone.
But yeah, that's what's fun about paintball sometimes.
Yeah, a little controversy here and there.
Yeah,
Keeps it fresh.
paintball politics. So, but yeah, and one thing I love about paintball is just, in my experience, is like the people I've met,
Mm-hmm.
especially our community.
Yeah.
I've become good friends. It only took you a year to get
I
me
had
on
to
here,
make
but
sure you were going to
it's
stick
okay.
around before I committed any
Yeah,
any
yeah.
time to you.
You've been saying that for 2 years. Yeah. So,
Look,
but
when
no,
I'm
it's
at the field, I'm very sociable on here. But when I'm at the field, like I am focused on my shit. And even when I'm at events, like I'm locked in with whatever team I'm with at that time. I think that's the most respectful thing to do. I want to go around and shake everyone's hand and say hi and yada yada yada. But push comes to shove, like it's gonna be the squad before I do any of the social stuff.
yeah. And it was that's one thing I was going to say too, that you're saying that people were. I was telling Buddy about, that was his first tournament. I was like, man, wait till you just keep going to a bunch of these and you see the same people and stuff like that. Like you'll see how everybody's so like it's really cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a little community in itself.
Yeah, yeah. And just like any community though, like, definitely we have some very welcoming people in the Greenville community. I don't want to make it sound like we're a bunch of hard asses or anything, but you got to spend some time in it, right? Like you just got to spend time in it and, everyone's going to get to know you sooner or later.
Yeah. I remember first meeting you. Couldn't tell if you were nice or not. Like you didn't say anything. I was just like, all right.
Just like
You're
to
like, yeah,
watch.
man, I don't really. No, you're like, I don't really like talking to the new guys because I don't know if they're gonna stick around.
And if I'm going to have an
Saying that,
hour conversation with someone, I expect them to stick around. And I've just learned, like, I've poured, like, all this into someone and they never show up again. Like, nah, like, I'm just going to wait and see. There's a lot of good guys out there that are good at welcoming the first time guys. So I just want to wait and see how like people reacted and like if you're gonna stick around, like the Bloodhawk guys or whatever they're calling themselves, under pressure guys. Like just kind of watched them for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, they've been out here a while. Like, hey guys, you need to come over here and play with us, and then I start giving some pointers out.
well, now that I've done your podcast, I'm probably just not gonna come back to PBC anymore.
Yeah, just whatever. You've reached your pinnacle, but
I made it. No, yeah, those under pressure guys were out there today,
mm-hmm.
and funny story. I won't say his name, but I will say AJ's name. I think it was 2 weekends ago. They were running a point, and AJ was the two on the Dorito side, and the other guy, the under pressure guy, was going to be the one. And AJ was like, "Are you shooting or are you running?" He's like, "I'm running." And so AJ, when the buzzer went off, AJ took one right in the back of the head.
Oof. Guess he was shooting, huh?
Yeah. Apparently AJ came up to him and he was like, "Dude, I thought you said you weren't shooting." He's like, "Yeah, I got shot by that guy too." He's like, "No, you shot me." So that guy was out there today and I was on the box next to him and I looked at him and I said, "Do not shoot me." I said, "I heard what you did to AJ."
Yeah.
And
Well,
he was like, "I'm sorry."
that's what it's about. Just giving each other a hard time. Like, I think that's part of like how guys communicate, right? Like, if we aren't giving you a hard time a little bit, we probably don't like you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so,
Are you kidding?
so yeah, it is what it is.
It is.
so,
But no, it's nice too that, uh, shout out to Mike and Eric too for working hard on, Mike helping with the jerseys, getting the sponsors with Virtue and Bunker Kings, and then Eric providing bunkers,
hmm
um, which is amazing. It's nice to have good bunkers. And then also Eric just, being the professional that he is, staying on top with emails and getting sponsorship through Paintball Central this year.
hmm
So that was a big one. So, and I think, could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I think PVC Greenville has a CFOA tournament this year.
yeah, we got two coming June and July.
Yeah.
3-man. There will be, I think, a beginners division and then an open division. Not totally
Okay.
sure on. I know there's going to be more than like the standard divisions that you would see up at um, Greensboro for like the series. And I'm not quite sure how it plays, if it's part of that series overall or its own standalone thing, but it will be nice to have events that the field again outside of the charity event, which is always a fun one. And Relapse ran two like 5-man events, geez, like 4 years ago now, I guess. But it's nice when they're kind of sanctioned, right, if you will, for the by the mothership up in Greensboro.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, the AXL is the main goal this year, and I'm sure we all want to see this, but it was beautiful to see last year's just constant progression
hmm
and just placing better in every tournament. So,
Well, so what's the piece of gear that we got to have on, or the superstition piece? You got anything like that?
no superstition really. No, I mean, I've always, since I've had it, I've always had that first hormesis, first and only actually hormesis bandana.
hmm
So I always make sure to have that.
All right. What else is in the gear bag when you go to an event that's like not paintball related that you gotta have? If anything, maybe you got nothing. Maybe it's just gear. Who knows?
Yeah, it's not paintball related. Yeah, no, nothing weird. I don't rub like I don't have a rabbit's foot or
Okay.
anything like that in there. So no superstition really. I'm all like, for us adults, the night before a tournament, it's almost like Christmas Eve as a kid.
hmm
You're excited. It's going to be a long day of paintball. So, but yeah, no superstitions really. But I will say that best purchase I've gotten from paintball is probably my Planet Eclipse CS.
Okay.
Very good, consistent gun.
So with that being said, what's the Andy Taco Shop question? What is the dream gun?
What is the dream gun?
What's the dream gun?
I'd have to say I've always wanted since it came out, the R5,
Okay.
the GR, yeah.
I feel like
But
those have fallen off a little bit recently in popularity, but they're a
they
good
have, but
gun.
anybody I've talked to that had one didn't have anything negative to say about it.
hmm
But, Eric had to go and buy a CS3 Pro, and I haven't shot it yet, but it just looks amazing. So,
Yeah, but he's got that dark, doesn't he?
yeah, yeah,
The free flow dark.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that
But
thing's hot.
or I think And then Andrew's got one. I don't know if he's got the pro or if he's just got the CS3. I thought he had the free flow. Can't remember.
I can't remember
Eric's
what
is
he
like
is.
silver, but either way, it's nasty. But the CS2 has been, Ryan Callahan at the park too also told me, he was like, go with the CS2 because when I made that jump from Empire, I didn't know which one to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember seeing Kevin with a die, and then you had a die.
Mm-hmm.
You still do. And then Andy had the LB, and I think a couple of the guys on my team had CS2s, and I shot one,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I made. I ended up going online and going to I think it's out of California, Mason's Paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Texas.
ended
They're
up
from
buying a used
Texas.
one. Texas. My apologies, Masons, if you're listening. Got one from them used,
Okay.
and that became a hobby in itself too, honestly. Like just learning your gun and learning how to fix it, and
Mm-hmm.
like realizing how just such a little detail can throw those guns off.
Yeah.
Just by like missing the smallest O-ring possible that you can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to keep them,
So you
they're
gotta take
akin to
care of them.
race cars, man. Like, you got to take care of them, right? Like, you can't let the oil get gunky and stuff and expect it to work.
Yeah.
Did you see
So,
the new whip
but yeah,
today?
what, yours?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I was too busy shooting.
I don't know if that happened. So just picked up this thing right here.
Oh,
So
is that a Lux?
it is a amp. So
Amp, shocker amp.
Shocker amp,
Okay.
Supreme Dark Carnival. I think there's like 10 of them made. So, and
All
for
right.
those that don't know, Supreme and Dark Carnival, well, Dark Carnival A is a local team, but Supreme was a local brand here, and they sponsored Relapse back in the day. And then Dark Carnival for a hot minute was a brand. So this has been floating around, kind of different team guys. And when I heard it was up for sale, I was like, I gotta have that. And it's got the mech frame on it, so
Yeah. You and Mac.
If it don't have a mech frame, I don't want
It's not Scottish, it's crap.
it. Yeah, I will shoot mech all day, every day.
Well, let me turn the table on you. So, is there going to be any carnage in the mix this year at any events or
You know,
relapse? I know you're doing rice. I think hopefully we're going to be competing against each other. I think in April at the AXL, right?
yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be there. AC Greenville will be there.
Mm-hmm. So rice and beans should be there. Definitely gonna do that. Might take a trip out to Tennessee with those boys too. As far as carnage goes, maybe we might show up at a couple events and ruin someone's day. That's our
Well,
favorite
I
thing
did
to
see
do.
our Lord and Savior at the AXL, Paintball Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hair as long as always.
yeah. Always trying to get Ryan to come down and play some mech with me.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
as far as the relapse goes, who knows? Maybe the old man got a couple more left in them. I don't know. Definitely gonna do the 10-man with the boys. That's a non-negotiable.
Which one is that again?
The CFOA one, the December one.
Oh, December. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just like my favorite event of the year. It goes CFOA 10-man, World Cup, and then everything else. So,
Yeah, that's probably on the paintball bucket list for me. It has to be is go to
yeah.
World Cup.
It's
So
worth it, even if you play like one of the fun divisions, dude. Like, and that's my favorite thing to do down there. I go down and then I see myself to the back and just play mounds all weekend long, and I'm happy as can be. And you're out there at World Cup, you get to sneak off and see a couple pro matches in person, which is always a cool thing. So,
yeah,
um,
is Planet Paintball Podcast going to be trying to get down there again this year?
yeah, I think we're gonna we're gonna make it this year. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Job change and everything, and it was lined up early November, and then started after Thanksgiving. But when you're coming into a change like that in life, like you just gotta take a breath and maybe not go to World Cup. So, that's what I had to do. And now I'm at a good place. And luckily, World Cup is kind of like the start of our slow season with that job. So it won't be a problem of me like just dipping out to go do it.
Very nice.
But yeah, that, always looking at 10-man stuff. That's always anything mechanical. Like I'm looking at and I'm eyeballing. If I can't get to it, like, I'm thinking about getting to it at the very least. Definitely want to try and do the Pittsburgh Open this year in the ICPL. We'll just see how that goes.
Yeah.
Because there are, I think it lines up with one of the 3-mans. So I'm supposed to be reffing. So we'll see. I really want to do Pittsburgh. Yeah. That's kind of like, that's the one event that I haven't gone to that I really want to go to. Everything else is kind of, I could take it or leave it. So,
yeah.
And at this point, like, I'm not trying to go pro anymore, right? I don't know if I was honestly ever trying to go pro. Just, different life things kind of happen. It's a lot of money to compete nationally. And for years being a teacher, it just wasn't about it, like teacher budget and making a run deep into the divisions with paintball. Don't go hand in hand always. I know Greg has done it from How to Play Paintball, and kudos to him.
Yeah.
But,
no, and that's another thing too, with us that are, also welcome to the 40s Club, Hunter.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Thanks.
are, older, that are raising kids and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot harder, but
yeah,
to manage your time. I mean, it's just one more thing that goes into time management.
Yeah.
But I look forward to it on Saturday night, especially when I'm getting my gun cleaned up and everything ready. It's just like, all right, I'm going to my zen.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I've always loved about paintball is it's my reset. I don't have to think about any of the other bullshit going on, whether it be good or bad. It's just when you're out, even, the paintball bullshit politics crap, like when I'm out on that field, it does not matter anymore. Like it's just about what's in front of me and solving that puzzle.
Yeah. Like today, man, there was some good points ran there for a little bit.
Yeah. We had some good ones going, a little back and forth action.
I think that's a good point when you are on both ends, especially when you go through all your pods that are on your back.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, they were playing.
Yeah, and grinding it out for sure. So.
Yep.
And as much as I love going to tournaments and seeing the product of the work, right? My favorite days are practice days. I guess to equivalent it to like school or something tangible, like I view tournaments as the test and the practices and days that I'm just out there as study days. And I enjoy studying the game and going out there. A lot of days, like I'll go out there with a intention of I'm going to try and do this today, whether it's in my game or not. And I don't know if you've listened to it, but the Next Point podcast that Steve does from Wrecking Crew is really good, like about helping set intentions and get you thinking about like kind of that smaller mechanical stuff, right? And gameplay. And that's become like a staple of mine is he's only got 3 out right now. I think a 4th one's coming here soon. But like I will throw on one of those that align with what I want to work on that day. And kind of listen to that as I go to the field. So that's been my new little thing I've been doing. So, and since I am a 40-year-old Snake player, apparently, this shit's hard on the body these days.
Oh, I hear you on that. Yeah. No, I'm like a home/2. And, some days I really prefer home.
It's a lot easier on the joints.
Yeah. Like, just don't make me bend down.
So what do you think is the biggest lesson you learned last year?
To stay calm. You know what I mean? Especially like when you're in it, when you're past prelims and stuff like that. Having a calm attitude at practice as well. Because at first I used to get really riled up and stuff like that and get really, pissed off, and get shot at and stuff like that. It's coming to the point now, like after last season, going into this season now, I feel groomed as far as like practices and stuff like that. What are you laughing at?
Interesting choice of words.
What, groomed?
Groomed, yeah.
Well, just because you've been through a season and you know what it takes
Mm-hmm.
to get progression. But yeah, the biggest thing out of last year is just patience, being calm, and really trying not to make that same mistake, and that got a lot of us. And shout out to all my teammates too. Now and with D3 last year, everybody brings, something special to the table. And that's what's another thing I brought from last season too, is really getting to know my teammates, getting to know Eric, AJ, Nate, Andrew. And I think that's one of the biggest things in a tournament too that helps you. That gives you an advantage, is knowing your teammates.
Yeah. And it's so hard and people have done it, right? They've won events with throw together guys, but like as far as the longevity goes, like having a solid foundation and knowing and liking the guys you are with, I think is super important.
Yeah. Because, I think with a lot of teams, like last year, a lot of us got on a team and didn't know anybody, but we grew together and went through the last place and, the mistakes that we made
Mm-hmm.
and grew from that. And then just, it's not to sound cliche because I've heard it a million times, but, going out to dinners and stuff together as a team and just hanging out um, at each other's houses and stuff, that really helps.
Yeah.
Because then you know how to talk to somebody, when not to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Which is sometimes more important, right?
Yeah, right.
I gotta let him chill for a sec.
Yeah. But if you only gave me one option, I would just say patience is what I got from last year.
Okay. That's
And
a good
patience
one.
paid off.
It's a good
Yeah.
one. Well,
But yeah, it was good to get that full season though under your belt though,
mm-hmm.
And like I
What
said,
was
we had
you go ahead.
I was gonna say at the AXL last weekend we had some C3XL guys down there, Kia boys, calling us out. They're like, "Oh man, we didn't see you guys register for the C3XL for the first tournament. We were hoping to play y'all."
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to kind of make a statement last year
Mm-hmm.
and show that, we were in it. And like I said, just that constant progression and just like finishing out the end of the season strong, that felt good.
Mm-hmm.
And that really brought a lot of us together, and even closer as
Yeah.
friends and just as teammates.
Well, and
So
you guys did put in a shit ton of work. I mean, Eric and Nate in particular, but like everyone on that
yeah,
squad, like put in as much as they could, right?
right.
And it showed through your guys' progression throughout the year.
Yeah.
What was the you aren't a stranger to 5-man. You got to play 5-man with Relapse, and then you played 5-man again with AC Greenville in the Blitz format. But you spent the most of your year in that 3-man X-ball lane, right? So what was and you've obviously, like, we run 5-man points. Like we don't even when we're prepping for like a C3XL down in Greenville, a lot of the times we'll run 5-man points on that field, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't spend a ton of time in 3-man mode except for like the weekend before the event.
Right.
So what, if any, was the difference once you were in the tournament setting with it again, after being in the 3-man tournament setting for so long?
Honestly, there's not too much difference it's the same concept, except there's two more people on the field. Yeah.
Only if you're bad at off the break shooting. If you're really good at off the break shooting, that's not a problem.
You'll always start with 3. As far as tournament style, I mean, it's just, Tyler Benefield, I think that's who it is, right?
Yeah.
C3XL?
Yeah, Tyler from the C3XL.
We'll just say Tyler.
Tyler, I don't have your yeah. He's been on here a couple times by now, I think. Maybe. If not, hey, Tyler, we're overdue, by the way, so hit me up.
Right now, I believe he is.
Lost you again on the mic.
You there?
There we go.
Okay. what I was going to say is Tyler is over like all the reffing for the AXL events.
Mm-hmm.
So while he's running the while doing the C3XL, he's also helping out with the AXO with their being like pretty much the over reffing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean the reffing was good last weekend.
Okay. Well, and
So
that was like the major complaint from last year. Although some teams said they got it together towards the end of the season, right? But it's good to hear that like that's been corrected. If not, because consistency with the reffing crew is the most important thing. I don't care if they're ultra lax or, ultra strict, as long as they are consistent, it makes it a fair playing ground, right?
yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. That was our initial too, is like, we said, all right, we're going to do the AXL this year, but we also were saying, all right, let's go see if this has improved
Mm-hmm.
from last year. And if it hasn't, we'll go elsewhere. We'll go to the NGXL or, we'll find some other 5-man league
Yeah.
or do whatever tournaments we can until then. But no, shout out to AXL. They did a tremendous job down in Conway at Black Ops. Shout out to Black Ops. Beautiful facility, a beautiful shop, and they very well maintained. They couldn't help the mud that was there that weekend. It was
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of rain the day before, and we didn't have the luxury of playing the first day of the tournament. We had to play the second day, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
it had taken its toll in some areas, but made for a better shower at the end of the day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of cruised past an hour here. Shout out the
That's a good
sponsors, man.
podcast.
Yeah. Shout out
All
the
right.
sponsors and we'll
I'm going to
wrap it
shout
up.
out to some sponsors. I'm going to shout out to some people too. Sponsors, shout out to Virtue, Bunker Kings, State Paintball, Planet Paintball Podcast. Thanks again, Hunter. And then our newest sponsor, Paintball Central. Shout out to all you guys. You guys do a great job. A couple people shout out to you, Hunter Patterson, Kevin Gardner, Andy Vargas, AJ, Eric, all my AC guys. I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all your knowledge. Appreciate all your feedback. Appreciate all the hard times y'all give me. So, yeah. But yeah, no, thank you for having me on your show, man.
Like I said, long overdue, but I want you to get in there, get some stripes, just so people listen to you. Because
That's right.
I'm gonna say it again. What I said at the beginning of the episode, like you have been a community leader down here, and I really appreciate that. So
Yeah. Well, now the season's back in for sure. Like I'm back on the ball. That's why I hit you up last night.
mm-hmm.
I was just, you know, you want to, you got to find out who's for sure in that way for the people like you sometimes that are like, I don't know, man. Well, I'm like, well, I've already talked to everybody else. They're coming. So you got to come.
Now
Make
you
it your
have to.
crowd. You can't dismiss a crowd, sir.
Well, to be fair, all my misses have been like family related.
Hey, fair enough.
So,
And that's what's, as Brock always says, paintball's not going anywhere, man. It's going to be here.
that's true. And that's one of the things I really like about the Rice and Bean crowd is that is what it is, right? If you got to take a step back, no hard feelings there. It's fine. So, but you got to hang out for a second. Everyone else, we'll see you next time on the Planet Paintball Podcast. We'll check you later. That was a long.
Thanks for tuning in to the Planet Paintball Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Whether you're out there grinding in the divisional pits or chasing dreams on the pro stage, remember, it's all about the passion, the hustle, and the love for the sport. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and we'll see you back here on the Planet Paintball Podcast